If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back here on Live Bet Sunday, I'm Scott Seidenberg on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. As the Knicks finished the third quarter on a little bit of a run, they did allow, the Pacers did hit a big shot there at the end of the third, a Miles Turner dunk that kind of broke up what was a 7-0 run or so, or 9-0 run for the Knicks. So the Knicks end the third quarter on a little bit of a push. The score is 80-70. The Pacers lead the Knicks. The Knicks at one point, like I said, they cut it down to 8. It was 78-70, and I said to myself, hey, maybe the Knicks surprise me. Don't shock me, but surprise me. For those just tuning in, I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. You can hit me up on Twitter at Scott's On Air. Hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live. Earlier in this game, I said there's a difference between being surprised and shocked. I said if the Knicks come back and win this game, would I be surprised? Absolutely, because they've looked pathetic. And that would surprise me. But would it shock me if the Knicks came back and win the game? And I said no, because we've seen teams blow 20-point leads throughout these NBA playoffs. These Indiana Pacers had multiple historic come-from-behind wins in these NBA playoffs. Literally. Historic come-from-behind wins. Down 9 or more points in the final 2 minutes. Down 7 points with a little over a minute left. Like games where teams had gone 0-1,200 in the history of the NBA playoffs. Pacers have had like 3 such wins here this year. So nothing shocks me anymore. If the Knicks surge here in the fourth quarter, would not be shocked. I'd be surprised, though, because they can't hit a shot. And both teams can't hit a shot. When I live bet the over at the half, I figured that the shooting would turn around, that maybe some other players would contribute to the shooting. And credit the Knicks, they keep chucking them up, and they've made a couple, 8 of 26 now from three-point range. But the Pacers, they haven't. 4 of 17 from three-point range for the Pacers. They were, 2 of 13 in the first half? So they go, shoot a little bit better. 2 of 4 here in the third quarter, okay. But the Pacers still shooting 50% from the field, and it's the fast break points that's been the difference. 16 fast break points for the Pacers. The Knicks have turned the ball over 12 times, and the Pacers have scored 18 points off of those 12 turnovers. And as I mentioned, 16 fast break points. That's the difference in the game. The Knicks are down 10 because they turn the ball over, and the Pacers get out in transition and then turn that into fast break points. That's the difference. We'll see what happens here in the fourth quarter as the Knicks open up the fourth quarter with a 3. 80-73. Karl Anthony Towns making his first 3 of the game as it's on, folks. Here's your live number right now. Pacers minus 7.5, and your live total is at 208.5. So we got a ways to go to get to our live over that we played if the shooting does pick itself up here in the fourth quarter, or, maybe the game goes to overtime. Who knows? We'll see. But right now, Pacers with that 80-73 lead over the Knicks. Fourth quarter is just underway. Hey, earlier today, we saw the Stanley Cup playoffs, Western Conference Finals, game number 3 in Edmonton. The Oilers blow out the Dallas Stars, a 6-1 rout. Zach Hyman scoring 2 goals for the Oilers. This was a 2-0 game after the first period. Goals by Evan Bouchard and Connor McDavid. Jason Robertson scores in the second period. McDavid scores his second goal of the game in that second period, late in that second period, and then a 3-1 lead for Edmonton became 4-1, 5-1, thanks to both Zach Hyman goals, and Jan Klingberg gets the empty netter at the end. So 6-1 is your finish as the Oilers take a 2-1 series lead over the Dallas Stars, and game number 4 will be tomorrow in Edmonton, where the Oilers are a minus 166 favorite over the Stars. Your series price right now, this was minus 110 both ways before this series began. Stars won game 1 in come-from-behind fashion. Oilers have won back-to-back games here and getting really good goaltending from Stuart Skinner, unexpectedly, but really good goaltending from Skinner, and we know what their offense is capable of. And now the Oilers are a minus 330 favorite to win this series. And we are a couple of wins away from getting a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final. The Panthers will look to sweep the Hurricanes tomorrow in Florida, where the Panthers are a minus 180 favorite. Total is 5.5. I can't bet Carolina. I don't know how anybody can bet Carolina. They've lost 15 straight Eastern Conference Finals games. I mean, this weighs on you. This weighs on the coach. This weighs on the organization. They got swept by this Panthers team a couple of years ago, and they're about to get swept again. I have no faith in Carolina. As great as they were all season, I have no faith in them winning this game. Not in Florida, not on the road. And for Sergei Bobrovsky, who's been, right now, the player of the playoffs. And I said this prior to this game today, and I still believe it so. If there's one bet to be made on a player to win the Conn Smythe Award, which is for the MVP of the playoffs, the most valuable player throughout the entire playoffs, not just the Stanley Cup final. And we saw it last year, a historic win for Connor McDavid, being able to win the Conn Smythe Award despite his team losing in 7 games, but they were down 3-0. They came back, won the next 3 games. They lose in Game 7, and he had a historic playoffs. He broke Wayne Gretzky's record for the most assists in a single postseason. So McDavid wins in a losing fashion. This year, I promise you, it's not going to happen again. If the Panthers win the Cup this year, they're not going to give it to a player on the losing team. Because it happened last year, the voters are going to reward the Panthers and their best player with the Conn Smythe this year as kind of a, I don't want to call it a lifetime achievement award, but an acknowledgement of last season's success as well. Hey, you win the Cup back-to-back years, you earned it. And the guy that deserved it last year, and well, I was on McDavid. I agreed he should have won even in losing fashion. But strong case to be made for Sergei Bobrovsky. And this year, it's the strongest case for Bob in net. So if the Panthers go on to win the Cup, Sergei Bobrovsky's winning the Conn Smythe. And you could take a look at the futures market and you could say, hey, you know what? This team is 1 win away. They're going to finish off a sweep of the Hurricanes, and then they go to the Stanley Cup final, where they'd be dogs probably to the Oilers. Right now, futures market, you can get the Panthers minus 105 to win the Cup. To me, the bet to be made is Sergei Bobrovsky to win the Conn Smythe Award. It is at plus 250 right now. Shop around, find the best number. Because, hear me out. If the Oilers, let's look at the Western Conference here. Because we all expect Florida's going to finish the series. If they don't sweep tomorrow, they're going to win it anyway. Okay? They're in. The number's never going to get better here on Bobrovsky. It's going to get worse. So bet it now. In the Western Conference, whichever team comes out of the West, if it's the Oilers, yes, the case can be made for Connor McDavid, and his 2 goals today were huge in increasing his case. But I could also make the case for Leon Draisaitl, who was the top goal scorer in hockey this year, who was the Hart Trophy finalist. I can make a case for Zach Hyman. I can make a case for Evan Bouchard. I can make a case for Evander Kane, who doesn't play at all during the season, comes in the playoffs, and immediately contributes scoring goals. There will be players that will split votes. And McDavid might not win it because of him winning it last year. Now, the other way to look at that is to think, well, last year they lost and he won it and he didn't come out onto the ice to accept the award because he didn't want to steal the moment away from the Panthers who won the Stanley Cup. So he stayed in the locker room and he acknowledged his win, whatever. Maybe this year, if they win the Stanley Cup, you want to give him that moment. You want to give him the moment in front of the crowd and all that stuff. Okay, whatever. But I can make the argument for Draisaitl. I can make the argument for Hyman. Certainly McDavid's the favorite for a reason. If Dallas goes on to win, if Dallas comes back and beats Edmonton and they go to the final and they win, Mikko Rantanen's the favorite. I get that. But Ottinger, who looked bad here against the Oilers, but let's call it what it is. This thing is going to change on a game-by-game basis. If the Stars are going to come back and beat the Oilers, they're going to need Ottinger. And if they beat the Panthers in the Stanley Cup final, they're going to need Ottinger. So I can make the argument for Jake Ottinger. I can make the argument for Mikko Rantanen. I can make the argument for Jake Ottinger. I can make the argument for maybe somebody else. The point I'm trying to say here is that the only player, with all due respect to Sasha Barkov and to Matthew Tkachuk and Sam Bennett and whatever, with all due respect to those players, I know right now, in my heart of hearts, that if the Panthers win the Cup, I know who's winning the Conn Smythe Award. If the Oilers win the Cup or the Stars win the Cup, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's not one player. But on the Panthers, it is one player. That's why at plus 250, that's the bet to be made right now. Hey, the hits are harder, the stakes are higher, it's playoff hockey at its best. Stay ahead of every matchup with sharp betting analysis from VSiN's hockey experts. You can check out more NHL playoff coverage on the VSiN Watch app. Things are getting interesting here down the wire. Fourth quarter action between the Knicks and the Pacers. We have about 9 minutes or so left. We will update you on the score and your live betting opportunities. And listen, I'm not going to be shocked, but I might be surprised. I'm Scott Seidenberg, always on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnair. This is Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Well, we got ourselves a game. That's right. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. There is 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and the Indiana Pacers, who were up 13 points at the half, who were on their way to a blowout victory over a hapless New York Knicks team, who at the half had a live line of minus 10.5, are now losing to the New York Knicks. The Knicks have an 86-85 lead over the Pacers with 8 minutes to go here in regulation. Your live line right now, after the Knicks have this 86-85 lead, Knicks minus 2.5. Your live total, which we live bet the over, so we need this thing to go over 212.5. Your live total right now is 210.5. As Karl Anthony Towns just made the basket and will go to the free throw line. So it's 86-85, about to be 87-85. Knicks leading the Pacers. Now, again, this is the moment. Would it surprise me that the Knicks come back? Does this surprise me? Yes. The Knicks were so bad in the first half. So bad in the first half. And still, they haven't been able to make shots. Now they've hit a couple of their threes. They've gotten much better from three-point range in this fourth quarter. So yeah, this does surprise me, but it does not shock me. We have seen multiple teams blow 20-point leads throughout this entire NBA playoffs. And as I mentioned earlier, the Pacers have 3 of the most historic come-from-behind victories that we've ever seen in an NBA playoff game. So no, this doesn't shock me. If the Pacers lose this game after being up 20 points, this would not shock me in the least bit. But this is surprising to see how well the Knicks have played here in this fourth quarter. But there's still 7 minutes left to play. But the Knicks have outscored the Pacers. In the third quarter, they outscored them 25-22. And here in the fourth quarter, have outscored them 19-8. As they lead 89-88 with 7:03 to go here in the fourth quarter. And I believe there is a timeout on the floor right now, as it is 7:03 left, 89-88. Knicks minus 1.5 on the live line. Live total up to 213.5. So we like to see that. But here's who's been doing it. Here's where the scoring has come from. OG Anunoby, 4 of 6 from three-point range. He has 16 points. Karl Anthony Towns has now gone over his three-pointer prop of over 1.5. He's hit 2 threes here in this fourth quarter, or in this second half. Cat's got 19 points, 10 rebounds. Jalen Brunson's got 19 points, only 1 assist for Jalen Brunson. He is 1 of 5 from three-point range, 5 of 15 from the field. The Knicks are doing all of this with Brunson having a terrible game right now. But the clutch player of the year can easily turn this 19-point performance on 5 of 15 shooting over these final 7 minutes. He could score 10-plus points here in the final 10 minutes and finish with, 30 points. And he can go over his 31.5-point prop. That's what it was before the game started. That's something that would not surprise me or shock me if we saw that from Jalen Brunson, because that's what he does late in the games. That's why he's the clutch player of the year. Off the bench, Deuce McBride has 1 three-pointer made. Josh Hart has played 27 minutes in this game, only 4 points. 2 of them came from the free throw line. That's about it. He is 0 of 2 from three-point range. DeLon Wright, with his 13 minutes, has 2 points. Landry Shamet with his 1 three-pointer that he made in the first half. But this has been an incredible effort here from the Knicks in this second half. And a lot of it has been with Brunson off the floor. So Jalen Brunson's been on the bench, and the Knicks have been better defensively without Brunson on the floor. Jalen Brunson is a minus 10 for this game. Just let that sink in for a minute. Jalen Brunson's a negative 10. The Knicks are being outscored by 10 points in this game when Jalen Brunson's on the floor. Their Cat is a plus 3. Landry Shamet's a plus 12. And Deuce McBride's a plus 6. For the Pacers, they are led 17 points by Miles Turner, who is 1 of 3 from three-point range. Tyrese Halliburton's got 16 points. He just made a big 3. He's 2 of 2 from three-point range. Pascal Siakam's got 11 points. TJ McConnell off the bench has 12. He had 10 in the first half. But TJ McConnell's got 12 points. Nesmith has 8. Remember, he rolled his ankle earlier. Nemhard's got 9. Obi Toppin's got 8. And then Ben Shepherd only made that 1 three-pointer. That's it. It's the only shot he took in 17 minutes of action. Benedict Mathurin has played 8 minutes. He is 0 of 1 from the field, but he made 2 free throws, so he's got 2 points as well. Tony Bradley's played 14 minutes, and he's got 2 points. Tyrese Halliburton has 6 assists. He is the leader in the game. For the Knicks, Josh Hart's got 4 assists. He has the most, but Karl Anthony Towns with 10 rebounds has the most rebounds in this game right now. And Karl Anthony Towns is a guy who we played his over point prop in game number 1. Looking at the over 22.5, I believe it was, when we played it, because of how well he has done against Miles Turner. He scored 35 points in that game number 1. And in game number 2, it wasn't the same effort. He had 20 points on 6 of 14 shooting. But here in game number 3, whatever adjustments Tibbs made at the half or going into this fourth quarter, man, they are showing up now. Cat is 7 of 13 from the field. 2 of 5 from three-point range. I mentioned he started out 0 of 3. I think he hit his last 2. And he's got 19 points right now tied with Jalen Brunson for the most here on the Knicks. And I love the way that he's attacking the rim, going to the basket, like we saw him get that three-point play before, just going to the basket. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson's still on the bench for the Knicks, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it. As I mentioned, they're a -10 when Brunson's on the floor. So Tibbs, listen, you can try and say, hey, we want to conserve his energy because Jalen Brunson's going to play, all the final 5 minutes, and he's going to be the guy that's going to take every shot and have the ball in his hands every possession. But right now, this is the Karl-Anthony Towns show. This is the Karl-Anthony Towns show. He's attacking the basket. He's getting to the free throw line. He's forcing the issue. And the Knicks right now are running through Cat, and it's working here in this fourth quarter. And defensively, say what you will about Brunson, but the Knicks have been much better here in this fourth quarter defensively without Brunson on the floor. And we'll see how long Tibbs keeps him out of the game. Karl-Anthony Towns with a deep three, misses it. I thought maybe Josh Hart should have shot that open three, but he passed it up there. But Knicks right now leading 89-88 as the Pacers have the ball here. 5:46 to go in this fourth quarter. Pacers have now taken a 90-89 lead. Your live line, Pacers -1.5. That's exactly what it was when it closed. And your live total is 210.5. This one closed, if you recall, 223.5. It got down as low as like 205.5 at some point. It was up to 212.5 at the half. That's what we played it at. 212.5. We played the over, and we're sitting here at 210.5 right now with 5:46 left to play. Karl-Anthony Towns is headed to the free throw line, and this is why you love to see this. This is a good sign from the Knicks, being able to win, being able to dominate without Jalen Brunson on the floor, and Karl-Anthony Towns playing like old Minnesota Karl-Anthony Towns, getting to the basket. We have yet to see. I know he had the 35 points in game number 1. But we've yet to see Karl-Anthony Towns really, really, really cement his, and I don't want to call it legacy. This is his first season as a Knick, right? But the Knicks made this trade because they needed a second alpha. They needed somebody to pair up with Jalen Brunson. As fun as the Knicks were to watch with the Villanova 4 or the Villanova 3, and you thought, hey, keep this team, keep these old college teammates together in Hart, in, getting Bridges and Brunson and DiVincenzo. Sending DiVincenzo out with Randall to bring in Karl-Anthony Towns was a move made for the playoffs, for right now. And we have yet to see Karl-Anthony Towns. Yes, despite the 35-point performance in game number 1, we have yet to see him really be the X factor. Right now, Karl-Anthony Towns is the X factor. And the Knicks 5 minutes away from pulling off something incredible that might get them back in this series. But that's a long 5 minutes away. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Hit me up on Twitter at ScottsOnAir, ScottsOnair. You can hit us all up on the network at VSiN Live, as we're going to take a look at the rest of this game, the final 5 minutes. We'll take a look at the game coming up tomorrow between the Thunder and the Timberwolves. How does OKC respond after getting the doors blown off them in game number 3 in Minnesota? And what do we expect moving forward in both of these series? This is Live Bet Sunday, as we are heating up like Karl-Anthony Towns here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is the best I've seen the Knicks look all playoffs. I got to be honest. This fourth quarter stretch right now for the New York Knicks is the best basketball I have seen them play in the playoffs on both sides of the floor. And the most shocking thing about all of this is it's done without Jalen Brunson. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The Knicks have come all the way back. They were down as much as 20 in this game, down 13 at the half. They have dominated the second half and the fourth quarter specifically. as they lead 96-92 over the Pacers with 3:19 remaining here in regulation. Your live number right now is Knicks -3.5. Your live total is at 206.5, as there's going to be a review here to determine whether or not the ball was out of bounds on the Knicks or out of bounds on the Pacers. As let's see the replay. Oh, did he touch it? I don't know. I can't tell. But this replay, is going to take 20 minutes. So here's where we are. 96-92, Knicks -3.5, total 206.5, which live over is not looking great, but that's because the Pacers haven't scored here in the fourth quarter. Knicks outscoring them 26-12. Karl Anthony Towns has 20 points in the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns has outscored the Pacers himself 20-12 here in this fourth quarter. And the Knicks have done this comeback with Jalen Brunson on the bench. Brunson left the game with about 8 minutes or so left in the fourth quarter, and Tibbs has kept him on the bench. And you know something? I'm with it. How could you not be? This defensive effort is incredible right now. I gave you the numbers before, but the Brunson's a -10 in this game. The Knicks have been outscored by 10 points when Brunson's been on the floor. And without him on the floor, they look great defensively. You got, OG Anunoby getting blocked shots. He's got 3 blocks now. The Knicks are really applying the pressure. There's no easy shots right now for the Pacers. No easy shots at all. And this is starting to look like, this is going to be a fun final couple of minutes here down the stretch. As we'll see, it looks like, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I think it's off the Pacers. I think that's off the Knicks. I don't think the Pacers touched that. But we got 3 minutes left in this game, under 3 minutes left. And this is the clutch time. So we'll see if Brunson gets back on the floor. And if, in fact, Brunson does, take over this game late in the game here. Big shot made by Halliburton, 96-94. Knicks lead the Pacers. And you wonder at what point does Tibbs bring Brunson back in, or do you let this offense just flow through Karl Anthony Towns right now like it has been? And what the most impressive part, at least in my opinion, is that Cat has attacked the rim. And you know something? The Knicks are attacking the rim. Deuce McBride is getting to the free throw right now after he just tried to dunk over Pascal Siakam. And that's like not something you do. Deuce McBride is, how tall is Deuce McBride? He's not exactly a big guy. Deuce McBride's 6'1", and he just went at Pascal Siakam. And you love this. For a Knicks team that has been struggling from the outside, 11 of 31 now from three-point range. And those numbers improved because of Karl Anthony Towns making some threes here in the fourth quarter. But they have been struggling all game. And this is quite the different approach. The Knicks now outscoring the Pacers 38-32 in the paint. That was a number that they were not outscoring the Pacers for the majority of this game. And we mentioned the transition baskets, the Pacers still with that 16 fast break points. That's what they had the majority of this game. We haven't seen that in the fourth quarter. There hasn't been the turnovers and the fast break transition baskets, the easy baskets for the Pacers. And that's the thing. The longer the game stays at a half-court game, that's where the Knicks are better. That's where the Knicks are a better team than the Indiana Pacers. But when the Pacers create turnovers, when the Pacers get out and run, when the Pacers are in transition with the fast break points, they can beat anybody. And that's what they joked around with on the with the TNT broadcast and all that stuff is like, what was it? I don't know what they called it, but it's like, I talked about it yesterday on Live Bet Saturday. They're 5 minutes away from blowing out anybody. That's how good the Pacers are when they get out in transition like that. They can run away from anybody. But when the game slows down and it's at a half court and they have to generate offense on those half court possessions, that's where the Knicks can beat them here. And Jalen Brunson's still not in the game. This is a bold move from Tibbs. But Brunson's still not, and Karl Anthony Towns continues to attack the rim. You love it. You love to see it here. Knicks lead 98-96. over the Pacers. As, you know, Indy's got 2:15 left in this game. As the live total, let's see, we're at now 2:07.5. There's a minute and 37 seconds left as we're seeing the, my app here is ahead. Oh, no, they just changed the score. That's weird. For the Sportsbook app, it said 98-96 Knicks over the Pacers. I wonder if there's a basket here that winds up being a review that gets put, like the Knicks scored and they took it off the board. That was so strange. DraftKings literally had 100-97. Now it says 98-97. So I don't know what happened here. But I'm looking at, let's refresh the page here. Yeah, ESPN's got 98-97. I'm looking at the TV. It's got 98-97. I don't know where did they take off 2 points from the Knicks? Or maybe they just incorrectly gave 2 points to the Knicks. Either way, here's where we are. Pascal Siakam going to the line. There's a minute 35 left, and I'm actually going to turn off the Sportsbook app so I don't get spoiled here. And we just look as Siakam hits the first free throw. All right, Brunson's coming back into the game with a minute 37 left. So the Knicks have had this massive comeback without Brunson on the floor. The clutch player of the year. Karl Anthony Towns has been the guy. But with a minute 37 left, for all intents and purposes, your season's on the line right now. I know it's not technically an elimination game because this isn't game number 7. But as one of our hockey guests yesterday, Dennis Bernstein, joked about with the Carolina Hurricanes, this is game 6.5. Because you lose this game, you're eliminated. And Brunson turns the ball over again, or he doesn't. I guess it's Knicks basketball here. This has been the problem. Or it's going to be Jalen Brunson turns the ball over way too much. The passes, whether he telegraphs every pass or he just throws bad passes. He's not a point guard. He's a ridiculous scorer. And with the ball in his hands, he can get the shot off any time he wants. But, the dude is, and just as I say that, Brunson makes the most ridiculous shot ever. That's what he does. But as far as passing the ball, these are some bad passes. The Knicks lost that game number 1, when he made, in overtime, he made a bad pass and turned the ball over. So Brunson hits a huge shot and keeps the Knicks in this game, leading now 100-98 with under a minute left. Pacers miss the shot. Knicks have the rebound. And this is the moment where, hey, Pacers are comfortable right now. They've come back from down 7 in a minute. So down 2. Not afraid right now, but the Knicks need to close out a game, something that they were not able to do in game number 1 and in game number 2. The Knicks not able to close out a game. Brunson drives the lane, and it looks like there's going to be a foul called, so Brunson will likely head to the free throw line here. So Jalen Brunson sits out for the majority of this fourth quarter, comes back in. Oh, it's not free throws, but he comes back in, and he hits the clutch of clutch shots, and let's see, misses now. A clutch fadeaway here. So the Pacers will have the basketball with 37.6 seconds remaining. 37.6 seconds remaining. The Pacers have the basketball. Knicks leading 100-98. And it looks like Tibbs is going to sub in defense for offense as Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson will come into the game. And you wonder, and he does put Brunson on the bench. So defense for offense switch here for Tibbs as he's playing that strategy for the Knicks. And, they got timeouts, so we'll see how this plays out here. But where do the Pacers look for the shot? Is it easy as Halliburton? Are they going to get the easy looks like they got in game number 1? That was the thing. When Nesmith made all those shots, you can watch the replay on every single one of those shots. And they weren't per se open looks, right? But they weren't contested either. They were shots that were off the screen. They were shots that were off the dribble or off a pass. And every single one of them, if you go look at the replay of all those 6 Nesmith threes that he made in that late stretch in game 1, none of them were contested. And the moment that you kind of think back into that game 1 was when the Knicks decided to foul up 3, when Nesmith caught that inbound pass. If you let him shoot it there, does he hit a 7th in a row? Who knows? But Josh Hart at the free throw line. Knicks lead 100-98, 19.6 seconds remaining. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
And breathe. Jalen Brunson at the free throw line has made the first of 2 free throws. Knicks have a 103-100 lead with 8.1 seconds remaining. And Tibbs doing the defense for offense substitution. Mitchell Robinson back into the game. Karl-Anthony Towns comes out of the game. It's amazing that this fourth quarter comeback has been fueled by Karl-Anthony Towns, who scored 20 points here in the fourth quarter. The Knicks have outscored the Pacers 34-20 in the fourth quarter. Karl-Anthony Towns has 20 points in the fourth quarter. The entire Pacers team has 20 points here in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson was on the bench from the 8-minute mark till about a minute 37 left in this game. But since Brunson has come into the game, he has done what Jalen Brunson does, which is be the clutch player of the year. He made a big shot. Now he makes 2 free throws here. Knicks with a 104-100 lead as the Pacers call a timeout, and Timothy Chalamet is loving it there in Indianapolis. I'm Scott Seidenberg. It's Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I talked about this earlier when the game was at the half, and the Knicks were 10.5-point dogs, and I said, they were plus 400 to win the game. But earlier in the second quarter, when the Knicks were down 20, they were plus 850 to win the game. And I said, hey, we can bet the plus 850. And no, it was like a throwaway comment, because even though I talked about how, I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks came back and won the game, because we've seen these teams blow 20-point leads left and right. And we talk about even the Indiana Pacers, who have had some of the most historic, who've had 3 historic come-from-behind wins in this postseason. So nothing shocks me anymore when it comes to the NBA playoffs. But this is surprising, because as bad as the Knicks played in that first half, I did not see them coming back and having this surge here in this fourth quarter. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, because there's still 8 seconds left, and the game is not over until it's officially over. And you know what? Once this game becomes officially over, I'm not even going to believe it until it is official. But let's be honest here for a second. Let's take fandom and let's take betting out of the equation. And let's just look at the bulk of this series through 3 games now. In 3 games, the Knicks have been the better team in the majority of the minutes. And there's no one out there that can argue with that. There's no one out here that can argue that of all the minutes played in this series, right, that the Knicks have been the better team for the majority of those minutes. In game number 1, the Knicks were the better team for 46 minutes. Right? It was the final 2 minutes that the Pacers were the better team, with Aaron Nesmith hitting those threes, and then in overtime, Pacers winning in overtime. But in game number 1, 46 of the 48 minutes of regulation, the Knicks were the better team. Right? There's no denying that. As we are at a final right now, 106-100, Knicks win game number 3 on the road, outscoring the Pacers 36-20 in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable. Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 points, 20 of the 24 in the fourth quarter alone. But let's take a look now. Again, step back. Big picture thoughts here. Game number 1, the Knicks dominate game number 1. They let a double-digit lead slip away in the closing minutes. The Pacers go nuclear. Well, Aaron Nesmith goes nuclear from 3-point range. And even with Nesmith going nuclear, hitting three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer after three-pointer on 6 consecutive possessions. The Pacers still needed Karl-Anthony Towns to miss a free throw, OG Anunoby to miss a free throw, and Tyrese Halliburton's buzzer beater to bounce off the rim, go up to the shot clock, and fall back into the net. In game number 2, much more even game. Much more even game. You want to say Pacers maybe had more of the better play in that game? Absolutely. In game number 3, this is a tale of two halves. Pacers, clearly, much better in the first half. The Knicks dominated the second half. The Knicks outscored them, 61 to 42 in the second half? The Knicks dominated the second half. So we have one even game 2, where if you want to say it was back and forth, we have essentially an even game 3. Pacers dominate the first half, Knicks dominate the second half, and we have game 1 where the Knicks dominated 80 to 90% of that game. There's no arguing. Through 3 games, if you just look at it that way, objectively, if we just look at who has dominated more of the play, the Knicks have dominated more of the play through 3 games. And so down 2-1 now. We have a zigzag here for game number 4 coming up on Tuesday. Pacers are minus 2.5. We have seen both the Knicks and Pacers do exactly what the Pacers did again tonight. Win the first 2 games of a series on the road and then lose game 3 at home. Pacers did it against the Cavs. Knicks did it against the Celtics. And if we go back and let's just look at that Pacers-Cavs series. Because the Pacers win the first 2 games, then they lose, and they get dominated at home in game number 3. They come out and they dominate the first half against the Cavs in game number 4. That was the big second quarter they had, the 42-16 second quarter. And they go on and they win by 20. Do the Pacers have that effort in them in game number 4? They absolutely could. They absolutely could. The Knicks, when they lost game 3 at home to the Celtics, they came out and they were actually getting killed in the first quarter. Boston outscored them 39-28, but then it was a huge second half of the Knicks. A 37-point third quarter, and then a strong fourth quarter to close out the Celtics and win that game by 8. This series is so even. Before the series started, I thought this was going to be a long series. I expected it to go over the 5.5. 7 games is what a lot of people had predicted, and I could still see that happening. If we look at the series spread right now, or here, the series market, Pacers are minus 220, Knicks are plus 180. Is there value on the Knicks at plus 180? If the Knicks win game number 4, they're going to be favorites to win the series. Just like they were favorites to win before the series started. Slightly, though, like minus 135, minus 145. So is there value on them at plus 180? I think I just ride them in game number 4 at the plus 120 price on the money line. But the zigzag is strong here with the Pacers minus 2.5 now for game number 4. Incredible effort from the Knicks, incredible second half. And now the Pacers have a little taste of what it's like to lose a 20-point lead in a playoff game. So many times they were on the opposite side, coming back from down 20. Now they blow a 20-point lead in a series that has just gotten real. This could have been a 3-0 series lead. Instead, it just got mad real. Thunder and Timberwolves game number 3 tomorrow from Minnesota, where OKC is a 3-point favorite after getting blown out in game number 3. Now, was that the kitchen sink game for the Thunder? For the Timberwolves? Was that the game where, they gave it their effort down 2-0 at home, and now you get the Thunder that will cruise in this series? I tend to lean that way. So if there's a bet to be made for me, it's the Thunder minus 3. Because they've been the better team. They are the better team. Timberwolves got the incredible win here in game 3. I think the Thunder take a 3-1 lead going back to OKC for game number 5. Hey, introducing the $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, and VSiN. Get this. All you need to do is open up a GBank Visa signature card. In the first 90 days, deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet to trigger a $500 trifecta. You're going to get a $200 in cashback rewards on your GBank Visa signature card. First Bet's going to give you a $100 deposit match, and VSiN will complete the trifecta with a free VSiN Pro subscription through August 31st. That's a $200 value. That's $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, and VSiN. Head to vsin.com/GBank. One-time promotion limited to customers opening a new account in response to this offer will not apply to requests to convert existing accounts. Apply today. Terms and conditions apply. Coming up next, it's Cashing Out with Dustin Sweetelson. I'm Scott Seidenberg. This has been Live Bet Sunday right here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.